what was it like to come back to the escape room set?
Really challenging. Really challenging because we did a lot of like the cool ideas in the first movie. So like coming up with new ideas that were just as big of visually was really hard. We went through a lot of different lists of ideas and crazy ideas, like a zero gravity room, and they're in spacesuits floating over the earth, and so coming up with A, PG-13, and B, a visual threat that could kill people was really challenging. But I think I had always been afraid of being in a train car, and the electricity from a train car. I'd heard stories of people being fried on the tracks and stuff like that. So I thought, how cool would it be if we derail a train car and that becomes the first escape room? So it was really cool to come up with that idea and then be able to realize it in the movie.
New York City subway like a escape room is a great idea. How did you shot that scene?
It was really challenging. We shot the movie in South Africa. There are no subways or no trains that look like that. So Ed Thomas, my production designer, he got a 3D model of an actual New York train subway, and he built that whole thing. And in the movie, we have one little section of a train station. So when you're seeing the kids running through the train station, that was all tricks of cinema. It was running them through the same station times with 4 different sets of actors. It was CG set extensions to make it look bigger. Once they get onto our set, our train, blue screen out the windows. We had to shoot plates that would go by with interactive light on their faces. So it's all just a lot of just tricks. The set we had was much smaller. It was like 1/4 of the size of what it feels like in the movie.
It is amazing. After the success of the first film, how did you work to make a sequel that surprise the audience again?
Well, that's a great question, and hopefully we did, but it's tough because you don't want to give away too much about Minos. The more that we found that the more that we over-explained who the bad guy is, the less scary they get. But what we did in this movie, what I think is so exciting about the sequel is it's not just the escape room, right? The game is expanded. So every choice you make, every person you talk to, no matter where you go, you're in the game. That Minos is everywhere. They can manipulate you. They can manipulate your behavior. They can pull you right off the street. So I think that idea is really scary, particularly after, a pandemic where so many of us have lost loved ones. We've lost our freedom. Everything that we assumed about our world has been upended and changed, So I think the idea of an evil organization who can just completely screw with your life is fun,
Adam, last question. Are you a fan of role-playing games?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't play as many video games as I did as a kid, but I certainly, I grew up with early Nintendo and, Legend of Zelda, and all the early kind of like, role-playing games were definitely my cup of tea. And if I had more time, I think I'd be playing the new stuff. I always end up getting the new PlayStation, and then I never use it because I'm so busy. But I do love role-playing games, and I think escape rooms are going to become sort of the new, like a newer version of that is coming. I think new technologies are coming that are going to make escape rooms like the ones you go out and play in the real world much more virtual and much more like just complete madness.
Thank you so much. The movie is funny. Thank you.
Take care. Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.